home, life, health, commercial, motorcycle, RVs, golf carts, and indemnity bonds with low down payments. Call 704-480-9595 or drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby, right across from First Baptist Church. Serving Cleveland County since 1986. Online at WitherspoonInsurance.com.
You hear them pads going click. You hear them clicks going 704 beats by Alex J. Yeah. First and 10. When you in the trenches, you like the water cooler. You be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lax. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. The quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Set that receiver in motion, that's just in the sky. My linebackers, they stepping up. Block the hole, no letting up. Taking on the big blocks. Fourth daddy get big shots. My secondary is balling out. The offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Special teams come punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm thrown like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball, we going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option, that mean I got the option. They keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Four receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6, scoreboard, then score 7. Spin the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw pick. I feed my linemen pancakes, so all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house.
And good evening and welcome to another Friday night football spectacular here on KTC Broadcasting. We're here with the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Shannon, and Dennis and JP here in the studio. Although y'all can't see me, which probably more is a blessing than it is a curse that you can't see me. So
Go ahead.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We're good. We're going over a couple of details there, JP. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame kickoff show here. Round 2 of the playoffs on KTCBroadcasting.com. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Dennis Davis and Shannon Allen tonight. And there goes my phone already. And I'm going to let Shannon, you guys go ahead and start reading the games tonight. You got 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A, and let everybody know who's playing who tonight.
You want to kick it off, Shannon?
Yeah, so get my paper right here. So in the I'll do the 1A, Dennis, if you want to.
Go right ahead, sir.
So in the 1A, it is Mountain Island Charter will be at Mount Airy.
Yeah.
In Starmount, the Browns will be traveling to South Stanley. And that's interesting because Starmount is 9-1. South Stanley, I think, is either 6-4 or 5-5. But South Stanley got the first place in their conference. So that's why Starmount was one game behind Mount Airy.
Well, that's this matchups all the time have these little quirks in them.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, what's a 9-1 team not get a home game, but they have to go travel to a 5-5 team. Anyway, Mitchell will be at traveling to Charlotte to place Corvian Community. Cherokee will be traveling to Eastern Randolph. That's a pretty good drive.
I started to say that's a trip right there.
Yeah. Christ the King will be going to Murphy, another pretty good drive. Robbinsville, and that one will be at Bessemer City, and that's on WCSL on the radio station, and that's a pretty interesting matchup too. Bessemer City's got a great chance to be playing the Friday after Thanksgiving. So the Yellow Jackets hosting the second round playoff game. East Wilkes will be traveling to North Rowan, and Hayesville Yellow Jackets will be going to up the mountain to face Mountain Heritage.
All right, folks, and I think what could be the upset of the week looming for it, and a game on WAGY tonight, we have the East Rutherford Cavaliers traveling to the Reedsville Rams. Now, if Reedsville wins this game, they're going to be the Rutherford County champs because last week they beat RS.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think East has a shot at this one. We'll talk about that later. We've got the Brevard Blue Devils. They're traveling to Bunker Hill tonight. The Walkertown Wolfpack is going over to play the Salisbury Hornets. The Forest Hills Yellow Jackets are taking on the Randleman Tigers. We've got the Burns Bulldogs going down to play the Monroe Red Hawks. And we've got that Tom Senefani and Matt Royster right here on the KTC,
on YouTube.
Audio YouTube channel. They can't do pictures because we're in the state playoffs, and I've forgotten who it is. I don't know if it's Comcast or who, but they've got all the rights to the video. But we can do the audio in these games, and so Burns and Monroe are going at it tonight at Monroe, and that's going to be a big hill for Burns to climb. I think if Burns gets by this game, they're in a driver's seat for the rest of the way. But Monroe at Monroe is a tough hill to climb.
Yeah.
We've got the West Stokes Wildcats going over to the East Surrey Cardinals. We've got the Community School of Davidson taking on the Mount Pleasant Tigers. And right here on WOHS Radio, we've got the Maiden Blue Devils traveling to the Shelby Golden Lions. I know you'll have something to say about that game a little bit later in your predictions, but that's going to be an interesting. We've got the Southeast Guilford Falcons.
That's 4A. Go ahead and do the 4A too. This is the 4A. Or you want to do? Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do 4A and let you do 3A. So in the 4A games, Southeastern Guilford will be traveling to Grimsley to take on the Whirlies. Palisades will be going to Charlotte Catholic, just right across town there in Charlotte, or in South Charlotte. Independence, big game also in Charlotte. They'll be taking on the Huff Huskies at Huff. Mallard Creek will be going up the mountain to Watauga. It's going to be pretty chilly up in Watauga.
I'd say they have to clear the snow off the field.
Yeah, that'd be fun to play in. But yeah, they're playing up there in Boone tonight. West Forsyth will be traveling to East Forsyth, county matchup there here in the second round. Northwest Guilford will be coming down to Mooresville, play the Blue Devils. Marvin Ridge will be traveling to Northern Guilford. And Sun Valley going across, what was that road? Can't remember the name. Rocky River Road down to play Weddington down there in Union County.
Always a tough competitor, and former state champions. They've had a good record. Now for the 3A games, Smoky Mountain Mustangs will be taking on the Irwin Warriors, and Irwin is the number 1 seeded team in the 3A bracket. West Rowan is taking on West Charlotte tonight at West Charlotte. We've got the AC Reynolds Rockets traveling over to Dudley tonight. That's a pretty good trip, too,
yeah.
Shannon. There's a lot of mileage on that one. And speaking of traveling, you got the Kings Mountain Mountaineers having to go to the Robbinsville Bulldogs tonight. That's going to make an interesting game. We'll have the final scores on the post-game show here for you. And I think the matchup of the night might be the Statesville Greyhounds traveling to the Hickory Red Tornadoes. Now, Hickory beat them earlier in the regular season, but you know it's always tough to beat that team twice in 1 year. We'll find out tonight. And in a rematch from a couple of years ago, the Crest Chargers will be traveling to the Oak Grove Grizzlies. You can hear that right here on WHS Radio. This is going to be an interesting game. Oak Grove finished second in their conference. Dudley's in that conference. Dudley won the conference. However, the question is Oak Grove good enough to play Crest, which has had some losses, but they've been, in some cases, by 1 point. We know they lost a couple of games, one to Kings Mountain, one to South Point by 1 point each. So the competition and RPIs might favor Crest in that game. North Lincoln Knights, now that's a team that has aspirations of going a long way in the playoffs here, and they're traveling to the West Henderson Falcons tonight, and we'll see how that one comes out.
That was on YouTube as well.
And I think Ashbrook and South Point rematch is going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah. You probably can't even find a parking spot now down there. But there's nowhere to park anywhere at that school. But, yeah, I bet you the roads are already packed.
Well, you know, Ashbrook took care of business at Ashbrook. But as people who've been around a little while say, when you go to South Point and you get off the bus, you're behind 14 points. It's got a lot of things to do with this, that, and the other, but they're tough at home, in other words. And Ashbrook's got to go over to Belmont to take on the Red Raiders tonight, and that may be a handful. It'll be interesting to see how that one comes out. It's going to be very, very close, or it's going to be a blowout. I know that sounds funny, but I don't know who's going to do the blowout.
Yeah, it can go either way. I got one correction, Kevin. The Mallard Creek and Watauga game is canceled until tomorrow.
Okay.
Is that a snow day?
Due to the snow. So
I knew they had about 3 inches up in Boone.
they may have not went to school today.
Well, App plays at 2:30 tomorrow, and they ain't canceled that one, boys. So if you're going to go up there and play in the snow, you got a snow game in Boone tomorrow at 2:30.
Who are they playing, Kevin?
James Madison.
Oh,
so it should be a really good ball game in the snow.
That might even the odds a little bit.
If you haven't been to a game in the snow, there's no better game.
I wonder what time this game will be. I bet you it'll be. I wonder if they'll play it tomorrow night after the App game. I don't know.
Kevin,
It best be played during the day.
Back before.
Let's play it at noon.
2 o'clock, 1, 2. We'll see. I don't know. Go
Back,
ahead,
back before they built the current football stadium, and they've done that many times and remodeled it. The football stadium used to be where Duncan Hall is, if you ever know Duncan Hall, and the bleachers hung out over Kraut Creek, and that was the big complaint.
Yeah.
Your butt was hanging over the creek on a cold night, and it was a little chilly.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Terry Grayson, he's a big JMU fan. He just said it's at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Watauga.
The Watauga game? Okay.
Yeah, so Watauga and Mallard Creek. That's the games. We did 4A already, so we're good.
Okay, so y'all went through them all?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for the broadcast to tomorrow, I was trying to find some shots. There's a shot I just saw a minute ago. I've got it somewhere. I think I know where I'll find it, of Kid Brewer Stadium covered in snow right now. The broadcast tonight, what do we have on the broadcast tonight? So we've got East Rutherford up at Reedsville tonight. Brian Free has that game coverage on WAGY, WAGY 107.5 FM, 1320 AM in Forest City. Excuse me. Burns tonight will be audio only, no video for you Burns fans tonight. You may be able to find it through whatever the NFHS network is if you have a subscription to that with Monroe. That Monroe, it does have their own system through however they do that. I don't know. But we will have that audio, the same channel, same bat time. Just go to the Burns channel and check out your Bulldogs. You can listen to Tom and Matt on the radio. Shelby going live tonight. They'll be on their usual WHS YouTube channel audio, but they are on the radio tonight. 1390 AM in Cleveland County. So 1390 AM if you are in your radio in your car in Shelby, you can hear Maiden at Shelby tonight. You can and for you Maiden fans, best way for you guys to listen to that will be on the YouTube channel. All the links are on our Facebook pages, and the best place to go is kdcbroadcasting.com. And at the top of the page, the slideshow has all the games. Just click on your game of choice. Crest will be on 101.5 FM at Oak Grove Grizzlies tonight. They will be, and then North Lincoln will be at West Henderson night with David Potter and Scott Tudor. That game will be on LincolnCounty.com YouTube as always, folks. You can listen to that game, North Lincoln Knights and West Henderson, and he's got a good interview with Coach Basil there before that game as always. All right, JP, we're ready for a break. You ready for a break? Yeah, maybe. All right, it's almost dinner time. We got Pete's Fish Box coming up here for just a little bit. We're gonna have some fish tonight, ready to chow down on our pregame meal. And as soon as I find the information, you can call them 704-802-4015. Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 8. 116 West First Street, guys. 3 to 8 cash only. Fish tonight. Pete's Fish Box. Give them a call. That's our sponsor. If you're listening and watching the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show, KDCBroadcasting.com.
The Pete's Fish Box food truck is ready to roll. That's right. Pete's Fish Box now is a food truck and will come to your special event. Just give them a call at 704-802-4015. That's 704-802-4015. Give Pete's Fish Box a try. You're going to love it. My favorite is the salt and pepper catfish. Also perch, flounder, chicken tenders, and Friday is Frog Leg Friday. Walk up or drive through Pete's Fish Box, 116 West 1st Street in Cherryville. Open 3 to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. That's Pete's Fish Box in Cherryville.
It's the best price ever on Galvaloom Roofing at getabuilding.com on South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Now, just mention this radio ad and get Galvaloom Roofing for as low as $175 a linear foot. That's right. Mention this radio ad and get Galvaloom Roofing as low as $175 a linear foot. And be sure to check out their metal and wooden buildings and their U-Haul rental office too. That's getabuilding.com. 1705 South Lafayette Street, Highway 18 south of Shelby, online at getabuilding.com. Like them on Facebook, too. Before you buy insurance, call and compare at Witherspoon Insurance in Shelby, featuring names like Progressive, National General, and State Auto. They do it all. Auto, home, life, health, commercial, motorcycle, RVs, golf carts, and indemnity bonds with low down payments. Call 704-480-9595 or drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby, right across from First Baptist Church. Serving Cleveland County since 1986, online at WitherspoonInsurance.com.
Buy here, pay here at SN Auto Sales in Shelby. And yes, they've got vehicles priced under $10,000. How about a 2013 Hyundai Elantra priced at $99.95? How about a 2013 Kia Soul for $99.95? A 2011 Ford Econoline cargo van priced at $79.95, and a 2013 Dodge Dart $99.95. You too can become a satisfied customer at SN Auto Sales, 417 South Post Road in Shelby. Online at SRAutoSales.com. Like them on Facebook too. A free house key is yours from A1 Shelby Locksmith & Sons on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Just drop by and tell them you heard this ad on the radio and get a free standard house key, absolutely free. And remember them for your mobile locksmith service. They can even generate a key and program into your vehicle when one is not provided or even lost. Get same-day service by calling 704-692-1354. A1 Shelby Locksmith & Son, 1709 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Like them on Facebook too, and mention this ad and get a free house key today. It's time to get ready for Christmas with a stop in at Norris Merchandise in Shelby. Check their holiday sales on Ariat footwear and shop their big Black Friday sale coming up. And don't forget about all furniture for the home. All in-stock recliners are $100 off. Complete bedroom groups up to $500 off when you use their cash and carry option. Come on in for all the details at Norris Merchandise, 2011 South Lafayette Street, Highway 18 south of Shelby. Online at norrismerchandise.com. Like them on Facebook too. Plumbing problems can drive you plumb crazy. Not anymore. Use your head. Call Olmsted to take care of all of your plumbing needs. Olmsted Plumbing has been serving this area since 1973. That's over 50 years. Plumbing problems can happen anytime, and anytime is not a good time. From slow toilets to leaky pipes to clogged drains, Olmsted Plumbing can do it all. Just call 828-245-7302 or visit the website at olmstedplumbing.com. Like we said, use your head. Call Olmsted. Olmsted Plumbing, you'll be glad you did.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance for Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon. They're going to be talking about some more high school sports for tonight. It is Friday night after all.
Welcome to tonight's pregame show. Kevin Hastings, that's me, along with Shannon and Dennis. We're getting ready for our Pete's Fish Box pregame meal. Hours Wednesday through Saturday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. 116 West 1st Street, Cherryville, 704-802-4015. Give them a call tonight. Get you some fish, and you can watch the Red Zone channel with me tonight. We will have the Red Zone channel and the postgame show. Keeps you updated to all the scores. We'll have 6 games for me to jump around and keep you guys updated and entertained on tonight. Dinner plates, hush puppies, choice of tartar sauce, cocktail sauce, choice of slaw, Cherryville slaw marinated, fries of baked potato, flounder fillet, catfish, Alaskan white, calabash shrimp, fantail shrimp, deviled crabs. Frog leg Fridays is tonight, chicken tenders, and don't forget the world famous Cherryville famous for the Lotta Burgers, Pete's Fish Box. Get you a lot of fish combos, flounder, perch, catfish, Alaskan white, or a lot of shrimp sandwich, Shannon.
They got a fish food truck.
A lot of shrimp, and Shannon's excited about the food truck.
That's awesome.
704-802-4015, cash only, open till 8 p.m. tonight. Give them a call. All right, let's see, Shannon. I was going to pull up. You guys were talking about the snow in Boone. Let's see. Let's go to some video up in Boone of Kid Brewer Stadium. Let's see if I can do this correctly for you guys. Hitting some new buttons here. It's a little snowy. Now this is from last night, so not tonight, but as close as I could get. So for you folks, for you James Madison fans, I don't know if y'all have ever seen it snow before, but here you go.
Yeah, Terry Gracie, that's one we got right there. So,
yeah. That's what I said. He said he had a fan watching, so I throw a little shade that way. But I'm not sure. Are the Dukes ready for that, Shannon?
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
Now, I'll say the funnest thing. The most funnest thing. That's what I got. I learned right there at that school.
I could tell.
The most funnest thing I ever did, Shannon, was when it does snow up there. They ain't got nothing going on. That you can during the off season when the season's over, you can walk on the field. So we'd pick up football out there. Yeah. So. And, if you're out there in that type of snow, a lot of people are in their snow bibs and they're in their thick jackets and everything. Other than helmets, what I'm getting at is you can smoke some people.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can.
We were
full contact football without the helmets.
Yeah, we took CJ up there, my son up there. We just went, I think, right on the parkway. We stopped in Boone, and the field was open. So we just walked out there on the field, and he's a little guy running around, and I hear somebody else, Shannon. I'm like, who in the world knows me? But it was a guy I knew from or a kid knew from Shelby that was up there.
You sneak on the football,
but they were getting ready to play football.
Knows your name.
Yeah, they were getting ready to play football.
You're a legend in Boone, Shannon.
Well, in many parts. No, they were getting ready to play a game of football, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? He's always out here playing.
So much fun to go out there and play. I don't know if they still allow them now. We toured a lot of cold posts down back. Well, that was during the games, but no. Tomorrow 2:30, the Mountaineers and the Dukes. All right, we got the broadcast tonight. Robbinsville at Bessemer City, East Rutherford at Reedsville, Burns at Monroe, Maiden at Shelby, Crest at Oak Grove, North Lincoln at West Henderson. Tonight is our 6th broadcast. All right, did you guys prepare any on the? Well, Dennis, I tell you what. While before we do that, let's talk a little bit before we get too far into it. You want to talk about the new possible or whatever classifications of what we have coming up here in the state of North Carolina?
I can give you just sort of a quick take on the local schools where they'll sort of be playing, numbers wise with their ADMs and where they have turned out. Let's see if I can find that for you here, Kevin. And then we'll talk about the games and how they're going to turn out. But let's see. Let me go over here to this one.
I will go shoot through the 4A real quick for the games tonight for the folks wondering. We usually don't cover those for folks wondering. So these are Western schools, Western teams. For folks listening on the radio, you can listen to tonight's broadcast on YouTube or watch tonight's broadcast on YouTube. Pregame show, our Red Zone channel, and our post-game show will all be here. Southeast Guilford at Grimsley will play the winner of Palisades at Charlotte Catholic. Independence at Huff will play the winner of Mountain Creek and Watauga. West Forsyth at East Forsyth will play the winner of Northwest Guilford. Too many directions in Guilford. Can I just come up with some names to keep it easier? Northwest Guilford at Mooresville, Marvin Ridge at Northern Guilford, Sun Valley at Weddington. All right, Dennis, what you got over there?
All right, I'm just going to give you the local schools here and the classifications they'll be in. We don't have any word about conferences yet, but some of these, because of the classifications, will dictate sort of some different conferences. For example, there are no 8As in Gaston, Cleveland, Lincoln County. There's no 7As in Gaston, Cleveland, or Lincoln County, but we do have some 6As.
Yeah. Don't forget Rutherford
Ashbrook, who has a 1,386 student enrollment, and Kings Mountain, who has a 1,305 enrollment, will both be classified as 6A next year. Unless we get into those mixed conferences, Shannon, that means that it won't be the old Crest, Kings Mountain kind of rival. They can play non-conference games, but as far as conference, they'll be in a 6A category. The good news is we've got all these schools split up, Kevin, to the point we could have 4 state champions in Cleveland County because they're in different categories. The 5A gets a little more like our old conferences. The 5A, Hunter Huss, 1,165 students. Forest View, 1,133 students. North Lincoln, 1,123 students. Crest, 1,098 students. North Gaston, 1,061 students. East Lincoln, 1,043 students. And South Point, 989 students. So you're going to see some old conference rivalries right there. And I tell you what, Shannon, that looks like it'd be a pretty good conference in itself.
Yeah, that would be that's your Big South conference. I mean, that's what it is now, minus a couple teams. But that'll be a tough, if that's if they do say, hey, this is going to be your one conference. That is that'll be a good mixture of games for sure.
Well, speaking of those other teams, the 4A classification, you've got Stuart Kramer with 953, Burns with 925. East Gaston with 917, and Lincoln Charter with 815. All of those are in the 4A classification. So there could be a conference, or you could mix it with the 3A. The 3A sounds familiar too. Lincolnton was 793, Shelby was 792, West Lincoln was 731, and Piedmont Community Charter was 630. There again, you've got the makings of a good conference. Oh, and Bessemer City, Kevin, at 590 would be in that 3A category.
Where's Cherryville? You got them?
We're coming up.
Okay.
With the 2A, you've got Mountain Island Charter at 559. You got Highland Tech at 538, and Cherryville at 484.
Okay.
So they're still battling those numbers there.
So basically, I think for what people need to know, and I'm guessing, I think for my understanding, I could be totally wrong. That's for playoff only. They're going to put conferences with totally mixed people. It could be like 3A to a 7A. I don't know how they're
going
going
to
be
geographical. It's going to
hopefully they'll avoid some of the matchups that they should have in the past. At this point, like we like to do our conference champions and stuff and all that, but the state don't care about that at all. And I know we like to hang those banners and all that, but at some point, whether you do, me and Tom wants to do all football conferences and myself, I'd be okay with that as well. You can almost do no conferences in football as well. Make your own schedule. Like you're doing the RPI anyway, just make your own schedule. What is it?
Yeah.
If that's all it matters, that's all you're doing. Why are you being forced to play?
I've got the ADM numbers for every school in North Carolina. So if you want to start making some conferences, Kevin, I can give you the numbers here. And you can start with Julius Chambers at 2,686 and throw throw Cherryville in that conference with 400. But that's entirely up to you as a separate kind of thing. You can play them a non-conference game or whatever. but you'll see a lot of these schools in Charlotte, Mecklenburg have much.
You're listening to the
larger
boss,
numbers.
WHS,
Shannon,
Shelby,
the
North
one thing-
Carolina.
One thing I found interesting, West Charlotte is playing in the 3A division right now. They're moving to the 8A division.
And that's like Monroe's playing 2A. They'll be moving to 5 or 6A.
Yeah.
the next time. Yeah, it'll be.
I think they're in the 5A with Crest and.
Yeah, maybe that's they're in 5A. It's stuff like that. It doesn't really make sense why they allowed them teams to stay or those schools to stay. And I get, people can make arguments on both sides, but the one thing that got me when I saw, because last week they had a different set of classifications. They had teams, but then they came out with a new set, and in the 3A, and of course, I was looking where local teams were, and in 3A, the West, just looking at the possible playoffs that could happen in that 3A group, Shelby, West Lincoln, and Lincolnton, and then Chase was in there, and then you could say Bessemer City, but then other teams, I was like, who are these other schools? You've never heard of them unless they're down east.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if that's all they're going to have in this thing, I mean, no offense to those other schools at all, but one of those 5 schools was going to win a state championship. I think the only team down east I heard of was Wallace Rose Hill. And it's like, that is going to be, it could be a point. I talked to a guy named Tyrese Williams. He's a big Shelby guy, and his son Tyson plays at Shelby. But I said, Tyrese, the conference games that they put together, when they do these, put the geographical conference, like Shelby will play Burns, Crest, Kings Mountain, and then, whoever else around here, the conference games could actually be tougher than your playoff games. Looking at the teams in that. Now, I'm not putting any other school down, but just looking at the success that Shelby's had,
Yeah.
and it's like, your conference games could be as tough as your playoff schedule.
Well, even in that 5A, where we named off a lot of the area schools that already play each other, you put them all in that category. That's a dang pretty tough conference right there, Shannon.
Yeah, it is. And Maiden may have been in there too. I don't know if Maiden may be in 4A. I can't remember. But it's just one of those things. You look at it and you're like, okay, I'm glad they're doing that, and I understand why they're doing all this stuff. But you start moving schools around, then you're gonna have to geographically put these conferences together. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a 3A playing a 5A, or a 2A playing a 5A, 3A playing a 6A, whatever, just because of where they're located. And it's, some people say, well, that's not going to be fair because, they're outside looking in. It's like, well, no, they've always played each other. They're just now, they had to reclassify them. You know what I'm saying? Like Ashbrook and Ashbrook being 6A, Kings Mountain being 6A. Well, they've always played Crest. They've always played Burns, and they played Shelby. It's just, when you look at it, it's like, it's just, I mean, I'm glad they did it. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be interesting to see where they put these teams in this conference. And then also looking outside the conference in the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, it could very well, some teams would have an easier playoff record or easier playoff schedule than they would a conference schedule.
Shannon, I'm going to throw one more thing at you. As a former real estate agent, I'm retired now, so don't call me. I can't sell or buy anything. You have an area between the Charlotte Airport and the Catawba River, which is fixing to have something like 4,000 new homes and a whole village, shopping centers, and the whole thing's right there between where you turn off to get on 85 and where the Catawba River Bridge is. And you think that might change South Point? Or do you think that might change, what is it, East Gaston or some of those teams?
Ranlow, Belmont, and Mount Holly. That whole area. I know Belmont's booming.
Yeah.
And they're putting up houses quicker than they can, think about them.
But let's come closer to home, Shannon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to.
Right across from your alma mater, Shelby High School, over there where the old mohair mill used to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you look out there now, you don't see any houses. You don't see any trees because they're fixing to build 400 homes there.
Yeah, they're also going to build there. They're going to build on Ingalls, between the Ingalls on 74 and Crest High School. They're going to build the old Blanton
1,200
farm out
homes in there.
Yeah.
Over, if you're going towards Cecil Burton's funeral home over there
Behind Jefferson School. Yeah.
behind Jefferson School and the YMCA. They're putting several hundred homes in there. All right, 4 years from now, what are we looking at?
Yeah.
You know, we might be playing 8A or 7A or something.
Or you may have another high school built, because you're going to have do
There
something with
you go.
elementary schools too, because they're already busting at the seam. A couple of them are, or a few of them are in those locations. They're already big enough. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, it's more money for the county. It's going to generate, probably bring in more businesses and stuff, but it's still where
as
you're
a
going to put the
former
kids.
governmental guy, transportation.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen to those roads over there? What do you think's going to happen to the sewer and the water? What do you think's going to happen with all the infrastructure and stuff that goes on there? Somebody's got to pay for it. Oh, that's the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And so, and the construction that goes on during the meantime disrupts the flow and everything.
More traffic circles.
You want growth, you're going to get it, but you may not like it.
Yeah, that's like in Belmont. I think and I could be wrong, but I heard somebody said they had actually had to stop building because I don't think they had enough water to
Yep.
provide to where the houses or the apartments, condos, whatever they are,
And
for
here's
the people there.
Here's the other thing. You know where you get off of 485 and you get on 85? It's
Yeah.
a real bottleneck there.
Yeah.
Well, the former Speaker of the House, now Congressman Tim Moore, put in a few $100 million to redesign that awkward flow of traffic that goes in there. That's a nightmare if you're traveling.
Yeah, it is.
And they're going to tear all that up and redesign it. Well, how are you going to get on 85 here in the meantime? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It will take a while to get all this done. Hey, and once you get it done and you make it easier, if you build it, they will come.
You're exactly right.
And it won't be a field of dreams. It might be a road of nightmares.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these. I found the link, Dennis, for the folks watching online. They've seen me been playing around a little bit with some of the local, the schools and looking at them. I'm looking at the 4A. There's a lot of folks. It looks like in our 4A, Reedsville's the very, very bottom one on the 4A.
Yeah.
So that's be interesting where that ends up where they end up.
They were in 3A last week, then they moved them to 4A this week.
Yeah. Okay. Bessemer's like 2 from the bottom on theirs from being in the 2A. Need to kick some students out, don't we, Shannon? Yeah. For some of the other folks in the area, I'm sitting and looking at this one. You see Newton Conover, Brevard, some of the teams we cover. Maidens in that one. There's the RS Central right there, 843 with Wing TW. That's not Burns, that's Bunn. But yeah, I just curious on looking at that's those where those will be and had so Burns is there in the 4A,
Maiden's in the 4A too.
and Maiden, yeah. East Gaston. So it's pretty interesting to see how they're gonna. We can't make fun of how they're going to mess it up yet, Dennis. So we'll see how. That's what I'm just like. I want to be hopeful.
Hold your beer, Kevin.
I want to be hopeful. I do.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what was the highest A person? It was Ashbrook. What was that? Was that a 6A? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they're around here 6A.
Yeah. Let's see. 6A, we got Ashbrook and Kings Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Ashbrook at 1386, Kings Mountain at 1305. Now Hunter Huss is the highest 5A. They've got 1165. And you got Hunter Huss, Forest View, North Lincoln, and then Crest, North Gaston, East Lincoln, and South Point.
There's Hickory there at 5A too.
Yeah.
So you got Crest and Hunter Huss. Well, you got to be dealing with Hickory in your 5A there. They're number 2 there in the West. Yes, sir. Waldo's looking at me for something. What is he? What? Tom's got a question. Is he on the radio? Oh. Well, then why are you interrupting me? Write it down. What are you talking about? Okay. All right. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, I'll let you guys get back on that. There's North Lincoln there in the 5A too. They play tonight here on KTC broadcast.
Yeah, and again, you see these possible matchups that could happen. Like we're talking about North Lincoln. North Lincoln, you could see a North Lincoln Crest matchup.
Yeah.
We've never seen that around
Obviously,
here,
if they're same classification, you're going to see East Lincoln playing in the conference maybe with Crest.
Yeah.
You could have South Point, obviously, in that conference as well. But then you throw in those Gaston County schools, Hunter Huss, Forest View, North Lincoln, and you pick out, a North Lincoln and an East Lincoln and put them in those conferences. That's a pretty tough conference right there.
Yeah, and I know the one school that people say we forget about is Burns, and I'm gonna tell you what, Burns in the next few years, that's going to be a team that a lot of these teams around here, maybe they've beat up on them over the past couple of years. They're going to have to watch out for them because Burns has a group coming up that I think is going to be really good. But where they are in the classifications,
4A,
they could actually make some noise with that group to actually, and that maybe could propel them to.
And they don't have their arch rival Shelby in there to block their playoffs,
unless they're in the same conference. Or, you're right, unless they keep doing if Shelby's 3A, Burns is 4A, if they finish 1 and 2, whichever one, or whoever else is in that conference with them.
But what I found interesting, Shannon, let's say you're in a mixed conference. You're talking about Shelby and Burns in the same conference. Let's say Shelby's the conference champion. The way it works now, they would give Shelby a 1 seed and Burns a 1 seed because they won they were the
highest seeded or
highest team in that one.
Seeded,
now they're saying, no,
right,
we're going to give the conference champion a seed and everybody else is RPI.
Yeah, and that's where I'm looking at, what Kevin said a while ago. My phone was blowing up. Okay, guy from South Point. Anyway, yeah, that's I'm like Kevin on that regards. Just go ahead and do away with the classification. If we're going to seed it by RPI, let the ADs. Now, again, I think this is where college football is going to have a big deal this year when they pick that final 12 to go to the playoffs. Are you going to base it off RPI or are you going to base it off record?
Yeah.
And it's, you could have a team around here say we're going to pay the quote unquote cupcakes with a couple good teams in there, like Indiana's doing this year. I'm just comparing to college football. Indiana's got 1 ranked team that they played. That'll be Ohio State this weekend. Well, then they're undefeated. Win or lose, they're still in good position to make the final 12. But then you got a Georgia team that has 2 losses. I think half their schedule is top 25 teams.
Yeah, the question is,
and they're in the back door looking in.
How do you rank these teams? You can't rank them conference. You can't rank them wins and losses. What you have to do is rank them RPI.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so in that case, I'm like, just do away with the conference or do away with that, and just say, hey, we're just going to have. I mean, yeah, you still have to have classifications. I get that, but just let the schools, because they'll pick their own. They'll find 10 games to play.
Yeah.
Because they'll play their county teams and normally those rivalry teams throughout that they've had in the past. But it's still going to be interesting because you're going to have it's going to be interesting how they do that. Are they going to do 2A, 3A, 2A, 6A, 3A, 4A, 4A, 5A, 3A, 5A? I mean, you don't know. Or you could do a 3A, 4A, 5A, have a 3A, 4A, 5A conference. And then how they come up with that, that's for the Wizards down in Raleigh, I guess.
I'm an old basketball guy, and we used to recruit Indiana quite a bit. And you've seen the film Hoosiers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Indiana, when it comes to the basketball championship playoffs, everybody's in one conference. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're a little Hickory High School, like in the film, or Indianapolis, which had the big multi hundreds of kids going to school there. It's winner take all.
Yeah.
Now that makes for some interesting dynamics.
It would, and I get basketball. Yeah, it's going to be different football. I get that because I don't think, but you have a team like Corvian Community this year that's right there. We talked about last year being right outside of Mallard Creek. So probably a lot of those Mallard Creek kids are going to Corvian.
Yep.
That's why Corvian now is undefeated.
Yep.
And so you would have those 1A schools that would, every now and then pop up and say, hey, we could beat a Mallard Creek. We could beat an Independence or, it's just, I think it would be harder in football to make it even.
Well, that's the thing Kevin and I fussed about when some of these charter schools get smart, they're going to recruit the football players, and they're going to play in the 1A division, but they're going to play with like 5A players because they're going to pick their teams based on football skills, or it could be basketball or baseball or whatever. But what we're saying is there's a way to figure things out, and coaches like NASCAR know how to figure things out. It's said in NASCAR, if you're not cheating, you're not winning. And so there'll be people who figure out how to stack the deck with their teams.
Yeah.
In other words, Shelby's been accused of being small so they could get championships
Right.
rather than playing up.
Shelby's numbers are always small, but I'd say half the male population, or three, I don't know half of it, but a lot of those male kids did play football. So you look on that sideline, you got 60 kids standing over there.
Yeah.
And you're playing a
But
team
that's
got
tradition.
25. Yeah.
But you go to some schools and they bring in 45 players to go with the 15 guys they've got.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they could have a real powerhouse of a team that would not exactly be fair to the other schools in their classification.
Yeah, the guy in Belmont texted me, Ben Washam. He used to work over at City Park. He said that we have traffic problems to this day with these new homes and are having a new sewer study done right now. So that tells you right now how big that population down in eastern part of Gaston County is growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Or is booming. And so when you do talk about these homes down there around here in Cleveland County, I'm sure Rutherford County's probably building new homes too because there's land everywhere. That's where you're running, and Lincoln County too. That they look at the home and say, hey, this is going to be good for business. But you said the infrastructure, they're not thinking, that's going to have to take money.
Oh, Kevin, I always laughed. I live out in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere. There's no stores. You got to drive 20 minutes to the local grocery store. You got to drive, about that long to get some gas. If you need a bottle of milk, for put on your cereal, it's going to take you an hour. You got to go 30 minutes and then come back 30 minutes. There's a field across from my house. It had been there for years and years and years. I never thought anything would happen back there. I got a dozen new houses across the street from me in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Why do people want to live there? I talked to one guy that I ran into me. He saw my car and recognized it and said, oh, yeah, it's a great car. I said, where do you work? He said, Gastonia.
Yeah.
He's driving from Gastonia almost to Rutherford County.
Yeah. Down there at not Sandy Run, where they have the barbecue.
Sandy Plains.
Sandy Plains, yeah. I know a couple of people live down there that work in Charlotte that live on that road.
And so the question is why? And they said, well, I don't know. As a realtor, my sales pitch used to be, Kevin's looking for a place to live. He sees the prices in Charlotte, and he says, oh, I can't go there. He sees the prices in Belmont. Oh, I can't do that. He even sees the prices in Kings Mountain and says, well, that's a little rich for my blood. I might could stretch it. I said, Kevin, I got a house out here in the middle of nowhere that'll fit your price range. Well, I need to, be close to the airport. I said, Kevin, you can drive from here to the airport quicker than you can go from South Charlotte to the airport.
You're right. You are right. You're exactly right. That's just with the population growth but going back to the numbers, I mean, I think these numbers, I don't think they're what they're on. I don't know how many years they're going to keep it like this, but you need to change it more than every 4 years because of the populations that's coming in, and just to keep the team safe or even,
break.
Excuse me.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Shelby, North Carolina, your beach oldies and sports stations. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, here's your forecast for Cleveland and Gaston counties. Mostly clear skies tonight, the low around 35. Wind gust around 20 miles per hour. Sunny on Saturday, the high 58. Mostly clear Saturday night, the low 31. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 61. Then for Sunday night, mostly clear, a low around 36. From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Johnny Cottle for WOHS and WCSL.
Now is the best time ever to buy your new floor for your home or business at Floor in America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia. Now get 12 months financing and pay 0 interest. That's right, pay no interest for a full year. From LVP flooring to carpet to vinyl to tile to hardwoods. They've got it all, and now 12 months interest-free financing. At Floor in America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Your perfect floor starts at Floor in America in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 6:20, and the temperature is 46 degrees.
The Pete's Fish Box food truck is ready to roll. That's right. Pete's Fish Box now is a food truck and will come to your special event. Just give them a call at 704-802-4015. That's 704-802-4015. Give Pete's Fish Box a try. You're going to love it. My favorite is the salt and pepper catfish. Also perch, flounder, chicken tenders, and Friday is Frog Leg Friday. Walk up or drive through Pete's Fish Box, 116 West 1st Street in Cherryville. Open 3 to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. That's Pete's Fish Box in Cherryville.
You could be the winner of a $1,000 Christmas shopping spree. It'll be given away Friday, December 20th, just in time for Christmas. Register to win today at one of our participating sponsors, including Ronald's Express Grill on West Church Street in Cherryville, at Back Road Pickers on the Waco-Falston Road in Falston, at Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, at Parker Family Feed on Carpenter's Church Road in Bellwood, at Bruner's Automotive on East Main Street in Cherryville, at Butler's Tire and Automotive East King Street in Kings Mountain, at the Highway 27 West Restaurant, Highway 27 West in Vale, and at Innovative Pools on East King Street in Kings Mountain. So register today for the $1,000 Christmas shopping spree, brought to you by Downtown Radio WAGY and KTC Broadcasting.
Golden Solutions Insurance wants to remind you that open enrollment is just around the corner, and now is the time to choose the insurance that's right for you. For example, are you a retired school teacher? Your enrollment period is September 30th through October 25th. Also, for ages 65 and up, or if you are under 65 and disabled, your enrollment period is October 15th through December 7th. Call Claudia Vaughn today at Golden Solutions Insurance in Shelby, 704-477-1426, located at 231 East Marion Street in Shelby.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon. They're talking about some more of the sports going on tonight around the area.
I was just saying, like,
There you go.
we got you, JP. I was getting ready for you. Hey, top 10, top 16, the power poll before we do our predictions. KTC Broadcasting, we do our power poll here. Our standings, there is no voting, there is no judgmental. This is what's left over. If you've been knocked out of the playoffs, you're down in the power poll. So we're going to pull that for the folks that are online. I thought I tweeted that earlier. Where's my, I know I tweeted that. There it is. It has to be here. Or under media. Well, I guess not. I'm not going to pull it up. Well, anyway, I'm just going to read it out to you. 16, Bessemer City. 15, Community School of Davis. And 14, East Rutherford. 13, Burns. 12, Maine. 11, Brevard. Shelby cracks the top 10 at number 10. Bunker Hill, 9. Corvion, undefeated at number 8. Ashbrook, 7. Crest, 6. Kings Mountain, 5. South Point, 4. Statesville, 3. North Lincoln, 2. And Hickory remains number 1. All right, let's pick some games. We'll start in the 1A. Now,
how in depth are we going to talk about these?
we're going to not really at all. I'll give you the ones that we're going to talk some of our close ones. So, folks, what we're doing, we do got some broadcasts coming up. Some of the kickoffs are at 7, and my screen just froze up. So if anybody's wondering what's going on at home, I may have lost you. I think I'm good. I don't know what's going on with my screen over here. But anyway, if you're watching online, the 1As are on the far left, 2As in the top middle, 3 in the top right, and the 4As in the bottom. So we're going to just do some of our local ones here. How about Mountain Island at Mount Airy Granite Bears tonight? The winner of that one will face the winner of Starmount at South Stanley. What do you have for our local Mountain Island Raptors in this matchup, Shannon?
I think for Mountain Island Charter, for them not to get blown out, they're going to have to play the perfect game, and that's not going to happen. Mount Airy comes in. They're defending state 1A champion, averaging 45, giving up 7 points a game. Got a good running back in Tayshawn Martin, over 1,700 yards, 49-7 over Mountain Island Charter.
Well, Mountain Island Charter's got an uphill battle tonight because, as you said, Mount Airy, great teams over the last few years. The coach is now at Freedom, but they've kept the players. They're 11-0. They're favored by 39, Shannon, if that gives you a hint as to what's going on. And I don't know how you want to rank that, but I would say that if Mountain Island Charter scores tonight 6 points, they'll be lucky. And if Mountain Airy doesn't get 48 tonight, they won't be lucky.
So other matchups in the 1A, Mitchell's going to undefeated Corvion. They'll play the winner of Cherokee at Eastern Randolph. Christ the King, though, is at Murphy tonight. Does Christ the King, so the winner of that one, the reason we're going to talk about this one is they play the winner of Robbinsville at Bessemer City. Now, real quick for our fans out there listening, we will have the broadcast of Robbinsville at Bessemer City tonight. It is an early 7 o'clock kickoff start. Chip's trying to get there as quick as he can. He's going to get set up for us and get that one broadcast for us. But we have Robbinsville at Bessemer City tonight. That'll be on WCSL 92.9 FM. So Christ the King at Murphy. Shane, you got any notes on that one?
I don't think it's not going to be close. Murphy went 49-7. That's what I got.
Christ the King at 5-6. Murphy at 10-1. Shannon's right on target. Murphy is favored by 27 tonight. And I will predict one thing about this game. It will be cold.
Yeah.
And Murphy will win in a hot contest up there. That score is going to be 10-44.
All right. We're going to go over to the 2A. 2A. We'll start with East Rutherford Cavaliers going up to Reedsville. Reedsville Rams, of course, defending champion Shannon. And I was up there last week to see East Rutherford. Really should have won 50-6. Won by like 10 or 15, something like that. They pulled away late. I can't remember the exact final score, but should have been a big blowout and probably look even better for whatever the spread is that Dennis is going to tell you in a minute. I would take whatever's closer, to be honest. As long as they don't have the same turnovers. But Reedsville is the powerhouse. Shannon, what you got on this one?
Well, East Rutherford comes in as the underdogs, but they're averaging 46 points a game. They're giving up just 21 points a game. But they have two really good players there in the backfield. Quarterback Landon Flynn's threw for over 1,800 yards, and running back Brandon Pinkerton, he's rushed for over 1,600 yards. So that's a potent offense for sure. Reedsville, obviously defending state 2A champions. They're led by their quarterback Deontay Neal. He has over 2,000 yards passing in the air. I think East Rutherford will bring something to Reedsville that Reedsville may not have seen this year, and I think that's a team with toughness and grit. They're not going to be a pushover. I don't think this game's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a tough or close game, and I am going with the upset.
Oh,
I think East Rutherford goes up there and beats Reedsville. He'll shock the world, 35-34.
Quit looking at my notes,
Look
man.
at your notes.
You've got East Rutherford 7-3, Reedsville at 11-0. The odds tell you Reedsville's favored by 16. But Shannon, I'm going East Rutherford 38, Reedsville 34.
Yeah.
So, common opponent, they both played RS Central. They both beat RS Central pretty bad. I'm going to, so do you know how, or do you think they're similar scores? Or how about this?
I can't remember.
East beat RS Central November 11th, 57-26. Okay? 57-26.
Okay.
Reedsville just beat RS Central.
About the same score.
56-22. So, both of them beat RS Central by essentially the same score, Shannon. So, your predictions for the folks listening out there, he may not be that off his rocker. I'll check him in a minute. We'll check. I'll light a flame in front of his mouth. We'll see if he catches fire. But, Dennis, are you picking the Cavaliers too?
I've got them winning 38-34.
All right. Next up, I'm going to let you guys kind of mosey on down that one. You can skip the second section because there's none of our local teams, but just anytime one of these two right here. So Brevard and Bunker Hill Burns Monroe. I got to walk down the hall for a second, Shannon.
All right, so Dennis, we'll go do Brevard at Bunker Hill. Both of them come in. Well, excuse me, Brevard 8-2. Bunker Hill is at 9-2.
Yeah.
What you got anything on this one or?
Yeah. Brevard is 8-2. Bunker Hill's 9-2. Brevard is favored by 10 going to Bunker Hill. Now, Bunker Hill can be pretty tough, and they're pretty tough at home. I don't want to, stick my neck out, but, this is a 9 and an 8 battle, which, it can go either way in those kind of close ranked competitions. I'm not sure that Brevard would beat them, much less by 10 points. So I'm going to go with Bunker Hill at home 27 and Brevard 24.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, Brevard being favored is interesting. They've got a good quarterback in Benjamin Kessinger and running back Braylon Thompson, but so does Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill's quarterback, Eli Davis-Helms, throwing for over 1,700 yards, and running back Jason Willis Jr., who may be one of the better running backs in this area, maybe the western side of the state. He has over 1,300 yards, just under 1,400 yards on the ground. There's two things that advantage Bunker Hill's going to have: speed, and they're playing at home. And I think that's going to be huge.
And the latter may be the better.
Yeah, exactly. Because Bunker Hill is a tough place to play. Bunker Hill 35, Brevard 28. So we're both picking the Bears, the Bunker Hill Bears, to win that one. The next game, let's go down here. Dennis, we can do Burns traveling down to
Monroe,
Union County, and facing the Monroe Redhawks. What do you got?
Okay, let's see. Burns is 8-3. They have played some quality opponents this year. They've played some not so quality opponents. Monroe is 10-0, but they're only a third seed. But they do have a home game tonight. And Shannon, I know you know, because you used to live down in Monroe, that Monroe at home is hard to beat. The Red Hawks are tough at home, and they're favored by, 26 over Burns tonight. I'm hoping for the sake of the people in Lawndale and thereabouts that Burns could pull off an upset tonight, but I have my doubts. I think they've had a great year. Get out the round balls. On the other hand, Monroe is going to play some more football. Shelby, watch out for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, Monroe, you said they're the number 3 seed coming into the
they would have
playoffs.
to come to Shelby.
Yeah, they'd have to come to Shelby. But before they got there, they would have to play. They'll come to Shelby or whichever one wins that game tonight. Because Monroe plays the winner, or Burns or Monroe plays the winner of West Stokes at East Surrey. Both of those teams will get destroyed next week. No matter who plays them. But let me go ahead and say this: the one thing, like Monroe and Burns are in the same. I think they're in the same dilemma right now. Monroe 10-0, don't really know how good that conference is. They beat one team to win that conference, and that was Forest Hills. Burns, same boat. They had to beat one team. They obviously didn't. They lost to Shelby. That's why they're the lower seed out of that conference.
But Burns has better out of conference opponents.
Yeah, they do. And it's still one of those things that, I've heard some Burns is banged up a little bit this week. I don't know how true that is, but Monroe's just giving up 5 points a game.
I know,
and they're averaging over 52 points.
And
that's
they have
hard.
athletes, Shannon.
Yeah, they have. But now Burns and Monroe did play each other a few years. I think twice past few years in the playoffs, but it was at Burns, and Burns beat them. One game, I think he beat them on the last play. It was an incredible ball game. I was up there, but it was still one of those games that Burns could match them athlete for athlete.
Yeah.
But Burns this year, it's going to be tough. I will say though, just like the Bunker Hill Brevard game, Burns is going to Coach Devine's going to have those boys ready. I don't care who he puts out there, and they're going to be tough. They're going to hit you in the mouth. They may get hit in the mouth too, but they're going to stand up and hit you back. But I don't know if they're going to be able to contain Monroe's speed, because Monroe's got a good quarterback, Keegan Chambers. He's their bread and butter. I'm hoping Burns wins. I'm going to say they're going to win off a Ryan Sisk field goal, but it's still going to be tough. But I'm saying Burns 30, Monroe 27. You never know heck, who could Cleveland win last night? They beat Pittsburgh. Yeah, that you never know what's going to happen.
Sorry, Tom.
All right, when we come back, we'll break down Maiden and Shelby, Kings Mountain, Robinson, Crested Oak Grove, Hickory, Statesville, Ashbrook, South Point, North Lincoln, at West Henderson.
Hi, I'm Miles Bridges of your Charlotte Hornets. Here, Hornets basketball on the Boss. WOHS Shelby, 101.5 FM and 1390 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Is your car's windshield cracking you up? If so, you need to see the windshield doctor. That's Carolina Auto Glass at 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Carolina Auto Glass can handle all of your insurance claims. Shop local. Deal with Carolina Auto Glass. They do free estimates on site. Just call 704-480-1885 for Carolina Auto Glass. Located at 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, where you get safety and satisfaction. Online at carolinautoglass.net and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Plumbing problems can drive you plumb crazy. Not anymore. Use your head. Call Olmsted to take care of all of your plumbing needs. Olmsted Plumbing has been serving this area since 1973. That's over 50 years. Plumbing problems can happen anytime, and anytime is not a good time. From slow toilets to leaky pipes to clogged drains, Olmsted Plumbing can do it all. Just call 828-245-7302 or visit the website at olmstedplumbing.com. Like we said, use your head. Call Olmsted. Olmsted Plumbing, you'll be glad you did. For over 56 years, Love's Fish Box has been serving this area with the finest in seafood, and the tradition continues today. You'll enjoy great food in their rustic dining room. Bring the family out. There's something for everyone on the menu, from fish to chicken to steak to salad, sandwiches, and more. Try their after 4 p.m. specials with all the trimmings. On Tuesday, Alaskan White for $7.95. Wednesday, beef tips $10.95. Thursdays, hamburger steak $7.95. Love's Fish Box, 1104 Shelby Road, Highway 74 Business West, Kings Mountain. Online at lovesfishbox.net and like them on Facebook too.
The Transportation Administration of Cleveland County continues to operate TAC, Cleveland County Transit and Reach. The Cleveland County Transit route will continue to be free to ride until further notice. For more information, call 704-482-6705. Again, 704-482-6705. For schedules and times, visit taxshelbync.com. That's taxshelbync.com. Drivers clean and sanitize their vehicles every route.
Get the fire you desire on your new backyard grill from Future Energy Company in Shelby. Grilling season is here. Come in and see the line of Napoleon grills. The new Freestyle with a 10-year warranty is only $4.99. And take a look at the Napoleon Prestige with a lifetime warranty. Check out the Big Green Egg and the Primo grills and the Green Mountain Pellet Grill. And the Broilmaster 84XN grill is now 40% off at Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Shelby. Online at futureenergyco.com. Like them on Facebook too.
From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, here's your forecast for Cleveland and Gaston counties. Mostly clear skies tonight, the low around 35, wind gust around 20 miles per hour. Sunny on Saturday, the high 58. Mostly clear Saturday night, the low 31. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 61. Then for Sunday night, mostly clear, a low around 36. From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Johnny Cottle for WOHS and WCSL.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 6:38, and the temperature is 45 degrees.
Are you ready to elevate your farm in an outdoor experience? Look no further than Fred Caldwell Tractors in Clover. We're not a dealership, rather your partners in performance. Mahindra is synonymous with rugged durability, innovative technology, and top performance. Right now, qualified buyers get 0% financing for up to 84 months on select models. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, see Brian Lane and Wayne Gregory at Fred Caldwell Tractors. Fred Caldwell Tractors is also a certified Toro dealer, located at 961 Bethel Street in Clover. Online at fredcaldwelltractors.com. Like them on Facebook too.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Get ready for cold winter weather with a stop in at Shelby Hardware on South Lafayette Street in Shelby. They have electric, propane, and kerosene heaters. They also have parts, and yes, they do kerosene heater repair. Shelby Hardware has hand warmers and brown jersey gloves. Get 2 for $1. And Nebo flashlights, black bulbs 2 for the Nebo flashlights, and faucet covers, plus Echo blowers for your leaves. Shelby Hardware, 506 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Now is the best time ever to buy your new floor for your home or business at Floor in America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia. Now get 12 months financing and pay 0 interest. That's right, pay no interest for a full year. From LVP flooring to carpet to vinyl to tile to hardwoods. They've got it all, and now 12 months interest-free financing. At Floor in America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Your perfect floor starts at Floor in America in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia. Yes, Cleveland and Rutherford counties, there's a mobile home supply store here for you. That's H&M Industries between Shelby and Forest City, right off Highway 74 West. No matter what you need, mobile home doors, windows, tubs, showers, roofing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, hardware, and more. Anything. See H&M Industries for your mobile home supplies. Located at 3931 Sunset Boulevard, Shelby, off Highway 74 West. Online at hmiindustries.com. Call 704-434-9900. Like them on Facebook, too. Now is the time to have your HVAC system serviced for the winter months to come. Right now at Bill Shuford Heating and Air in Shelby, get 60 months no interest on qualifying systems for qualified applicants for as low as $89 per month. Bill Shuford Heating and Air sales and services American Standard HVAC systems, which are rated #1 in reliability. Call Bill Shuford Heating and Air at 704-484-0025 to book your appointment. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Online at BillShufordHVAC.com. All right, let's go back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. You guys, back on the air.
All right, thank you, Calvin. Dennis, let's keep going with our games. Our local teams. We got Robbinsville, 6-6, traveling down here to Bessemer City, who is 8-4. What you got on this one? Or you want me to start on that one first? I can.
That's okay. I got it.
Okay.
Robbinsville is 6-6. Bessemer City is 8-4. However, Robbinsville is favored by 12. They're playing at Bessemer City. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to favor Bessemer City. They're a number 6 seed. Robbinsville is a number 11 seed. I think Bessemer City, although that conference is a little shaky, I think Bessemer City has probably got the better team. And I'm going to pick Bessemer City to win that one. And I think Bessemer City is going to score 28. And Robbinsville is going to score 14.
Yeah. So, I think congratulations, Bessemer City, hosting this second-round playoff game. Robbinsville's got a good quarterback, Bryce Adams. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards this year. But Bessemer City also has a good quarterback named Gavin Chastain, who has thrown for just under 2,000 yards this year. And they got a good running back, Keon Smith, a big kid, big running back. He's rushed for over 1,200 yards. Bessemer City finished third behind Shelby and Burns, which they haven't done that in a while. It's always been East Gaston finishing third in that conference. And Bessemer's been battle tested, and I think Yellow Jacks at home, they're fired up. They may have never been in this position before to actually be able to play the Friday after Friday after Thanksgiving. So I'm thinking Bessemer's going to win. I think it'll be close. I think Robbinsville will bring some speed, or they'll bring some power down there. But Bessemer will win 28-24 over Robbinsville. Next game, Dennis, moving right along, we're going to go just right over here across the county line, Cleveland County. Maiden Blue Devils coming in and taking on the Shelby Golden Lions. What you think about this one?
Well, Maiden is 8-3, and they beat Lincolnton last week. Right. I think we both called Lincolnton to win, so Maiden's moved right along. They've been impressive at times, and then at times they haven't. Shelby has been impressive throughout the year. Their conference games, not so good, but they've played Kings Mountain, they played Crest, they played Burns. Shelby, I think, is more battle-tested, even at 9-2. Shelby's favored by 14. I hate to break it to the Blue Devils. Tom Brown is no longer the coach over there, and I'm going with Shelby by a score of 38-13.
Well, the big thing around Shelby this week is, do you remember when Maiden did the dog pile?
Oh.
And Maiden does, after Shelby hung 63 points on them that night when Coach Chris Norman was the head coach. But that was a few years back. But anyway.
Don't do that tonight, Maiden.
No, they come in behind quarterback Grant Lawing, over 1,700 yards passing, and running back Kendall Roberts. Now, Shelby, they've come this game averaging 45 a game, giving up 14. Maiden's averaging 31, also giving up 14. But the Lions are led by quarterback Land Farmer, who's thrown for over 2,000 yards, and running back Tristan Tate, who has rushed for over 1,000 yards. These two teams obviously used to be in the same conference, and they haven't played each other in a while because when they split the conferences up. But I think there'll be a big crowd on both sides. But for Maiden to win this game, they must be able to lock down the Shelby receivers and contain that Shelby speed. Now, they did it with Lincoln last week, but Shelby's got more than Lincoln had, I believe. And they've got more weapons than what Lincoln did. And then Shelby's defense has gotten tougher as the year goes on. I think that's going to be a problem for the Maiden or for the Blue Devil offense. I think Shelby wins this one at home, 49-21. All right, so moving on to our 3A group here. The next game, what I say, is going to be Crest and Oak Grove.
Okay.
Traveling up to Oak Grove. What you think on that one?
Well, Crest is 9-2, but they could have been 11-0. They lost 2 games by a total of 2 points, and they lost to South Point, and they lost to Kings Mountain. Both teams are still playing tonight. Oak Grove is 10-1. They got beat by Dudley, but they beat everybody else in the conference, which is not saying very much. Dudley was really their only competition in there. They've got Crest by 7 tonight. I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit better than that. Now, Oak Grove has got some good size, Shannon, and, probably it will be who controls the line of scrimmage. And let's see what the Crest line can do tonight to open up for the running backs. They've got a few tricks up their sleeves, and the Hamrick is starting to get the rhythm of the Crest receivers and what's going on. So I look for Crest tonight. I know I'm a homer. I got the cap on. It says Crest on it. But I think Crest will win tonight, and it will be by a score of 42-14.
Yeah, you talk about quarterback Eli Hamrick for Crest, but Crest also, they've got other players, Pluto Surratt, Lyric Pettis, Mike Edwards, Jahari Mosley, even Tournament Swain. You can throw him in there because he is a good ball player. And Brock Melton. Those are the ones that's going to be the key makers for the Charger offense if they're going to be successful tonight. But also Crest's line play. Crest's line play for the past 2 years has been exceptional because they've been smaller than the other teams they played, but they know how to block.
Technique,
and they've done a great job with that. Oak Grove comes in behind quarterback Grayson Treadway. He's thrown for over 1,100 yards, and Carson Williams, he's rushed for over 1,000 yards. I know Oak Grove's seated higher, but Crest obviously isn't your typical 11th seeded team. You mentioned that a while ago. I think Crest wins this one tonight. I agree it's going to be a larger margin of victory. Crest 38, Oak Grove 17. And so, let's move on to the next game in 3A local teams. Kings Mountain traveling to Robinson to play the Bulldogs. What do you think about that one?
Well, Kings Mountain is 9-2. Robinson is 11-0. I don't know how well Kings Mountain travels. Kings Mountain has impressed me pretty much at the first of the year. I thought Kings Mountain, their defense was all they had. Then they got a quarterback who could throw the ball. They've developed a Division I prospect receiver. Yep. And I think Kings Mountain may have a little something for J.M. Robinson because Kings Mountain is better battle-tested than I think J.M. Robinson is. And I think I'm going to go with the upset tonight, Kings Mountain to win by a score of 28-21.
Yeah, you mentioned the quarterback for Kings Mountains, T.J. Armstrong. He's thrown for 1,944 yards this year, but also running back Josiah Hill. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards. The one thing about Kings Mountain, they've really gotten better each week, and this is not going to be easy game for Robinson. Robinson, they do come in averaging 43 points a game. They're only giving up 7. So Kings Mountain's it's not going to be easy for Kings Mountain either. The Bulldogs, they're led by quarterback John Bisonette. I think that's how you said. He has over 1,600 yards passing, and good running back at L.J. Watson at just over 900 yards rushing. Robinson's at home, and it's people say, well, they're going to be the team to beat in 3A, but I don't think they faced a team like Kings Mountain this year either. And the Mountaineers are big, powerful. And if they control the line of scrimmage, which they do that very well, it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a close game. My score is Kings Mountain 28, Robinson 24. So a big win, I believe, for the Mountaineers up in Robinson. Was that Concord? That's up in that way. So, so good luck to Kings Mountain as they travel up there. The next game, Dennis, staying local, the North Lincoln Knights will be going up the mountain to West Henderson to take on the Falcons. What do you see in this game or happening in this game?
That's which game now?
North Lincoln at West Henderson.
North Lincoln is 10-1. West Henderson is 8-3. I have North Lincoln favored by 16 points in this one. It may be a little cool up there tonight. North Lincoln may fumble a little bit because of that. They may drop some passes because of that. But I'm going to have North Lincoln winning this one, and I'm going to go 24-21 North Lincoln.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great ball game. North Lincoln's comes in averaging 39, giving up 24. They're led by the big bull of a running back, Shannon Wingate. He has 1,737 yards. If West Henderson isn't, if they can't stop the run, they are in trouble. And this is going to be hard for the Falcons defense to do because Wingate is the real deal. Now, West Henderson comes in averaging 32, giving up 23. They're led by quarterback Cade Young. It seems like he's been there forever. I think it's his senior year. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards, and they got a running back that's rushed for over 1,300 yards in Zane McCraw. So they're a balanced offense up there. But we've talked about this before. I know Rob Roop, when he calls in after the Crest games, he mentions strength of schedule, and I think that is a huge benefit. Or that's going to be a huge factor in this game because with North Lincoln, they've been battle tested. There's no doubt that the conference they're in, they've played some tough competition already. And I think that's going to come into play here. I think they just have they're battle ready. I guess battle tested and are game ready more so than West Henderson would be. I think North Lincoln goes up and brings home the win back to Lincoln County, 38-24 over West Henderson. So our last local game, this is probably one of the bigger games around here. Ashbrook Greenway will be traveling down Franklin Boulevard or however road which way they're going to go to Belmont to take on the South Point Red Raiders.
They might go through McAdenville to see the Christmas lights on the way.
Well, they're stuck in traffic. Are they out now? Are they? I don't know. But anyway,
I think maybe the Thanksgiving night or
okay.
the night after.
Well, when you go down there, let me know. Then I'll make a trip not to go down there because I don't want stuck in traffic. Anyway, Ashbrook at South Point. What do you think about this one?
Oh, man.
There's a lot to say about this game.
It's that time of the year when one team goes home and the other team goes on. And what I hate is for this team that's going home because Ashbrook has had a renaissance year. They have let it be known. Ashbrook football, the Green Wave, is back. We're playing tough-nosed defense for the entire game. Not one quarter. And we've got some offense, too. I commend the coaches at Ashbrook for their efforts. South Point is South Point. They've been there and done that, but they didn't do it over at Ashbrook in the regular season. South Point lost over at Ashbrook in a very close game.
Yeah.
Man, can we flip a coin?
Yeah.
I think South Point is favored by 6. But and I know they're playing over at South Point. So South Point's already got 14 points on the scoreboard. And 2 refs that are eating hot dogs over at the concession stand.
Already picked up that $100 bill just conveniently left in their locker room. Yeah.
So this is a big mountain for Ashbrook to climb. If they can beat South Point at South Point, they are legit. But I think it's going to be a close game, and South Point's going to win it. And they're going to win it 34-28.
Yeah, and I wasn't implying that's what South Point does with the $100 bill.
No, we would never imply that.
Former Post 82 coach Mike Gray, that used to be what he would say. Grayson used to say that a lot about the teams they play, or even local teams there in football games. He'd say, hey, they're going to find a $100 bill in the bathroom or locker room. Anyway, back on October 18th, Ashbrook defeated South Point. As you mentioned, a close game. It was 17-14. Obviously, South Point's looking for a little payback tonight against the Green Wave. I think this could be the biggest game in a long time in this. I don't know if it's a rivalry between these two teams.
Well, for Gaston County.
For Gaston County, this is a huge.
Playing a Gaston County team, not Kings Mountain, not Crest, but playing a fellow Gaston County team. This is the game.
Because the only other game in Gaston County will be Bessemer City. They're playing hosting Robbinsville, but everybody else that's not probably around Bessemer City will be at South Point down in Belmont for this game, and it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's you look at that and you say, well, it was a close game before. Will it be close again? Because normally, if it's close one time, maybe not so the next time, because they figure out what worked and what didn't. When they played them, because it was middle of October when they played them before. Again, it's all going to come down to who's going to control that line of scrimmage. The thing with Ashbrook, and I've said this all year, people think I'm crazy, they are huge across that front line.
Yep.
And if you've never seen them play, I know Crest beat them, and I get that, but Crest has got a good line as well. But Ashbrook was so big. Watching them play, it's like, my gosh, they don't even look like a high school. I mean, it didn't even look like a high school group playing down there, or a group of high school kids. But they're going to use that. They've got to use that strength and power to their advantage because it works, obviously. But they're going to have to, as they did at South Point before, they're going to have, for them to win this game, they're going to have to take advantage of a South Point mistake.
Well, the question I have, Shannon, does South Point do something non-South Point wise? Like, do they throw the ball more tonight?
Well, see, that's what I was getting at, because when Crest beat Ashbrook before, Crest threw the ball against Ashbrook, and Ashbrook couldn't contain the pass as well as they would like, especially when the backs would get out in space. South Point, when they beat Crest, they threw the ball to set up that long run by Bleed to get the go-ahead score there in the last few minutes of the game. But again, I think, yes, South Point's going to have to do something non-South Pointy, if you want to call it that way. They're going to have to do something that's going to make Ashbrook start guessing. And, whether it be a pass, whether it be a trick play. But on the other hand, Ashbrook now is going to do the same thing, because South Point knows what you bring to the table now, not just what they hear. Yep. And so I think it'll be a close ball game. I still think Bleed's going to get his yards. Chance Ford's going to get his yards. Javarian Brown for Ashbrook is going to get his yards, and the Smith guy as well for Ashbrook, Martino Smith. So anyway, I think it's going to be a close game. Even though I said that a while ago, I think Ashbrook goes to South Point and wins by 1.
Wow.
I'm picking them to win because Coach Bowden's down there, and he's a good friend of mine. And I think that, but I know people in South Point too. That, don't get me wrong, but I'm pulling for Coach Bowden because, I think he knows what he's doing. He does it the right way, and he does a good job with that offense down there. So those are our local games, Dennis.
Well, all the people in Boiling Springs and Shelby and Kings Mountain are hoping that your pick goes that way.
Yeah.
But we know the story of going to South Point.
Yeah. So that would be, and we just real quick before we sign off here. I don't know if we talked much about the 3A, but the winner of Ashbrook and South Point plays the winner of North Lincoln, West Henderson. So, that's going to be a good battle. We didn't even talk about Statesville and Hickory. We mentioned it, but Hickory barely beat Statesville earlier this year. That's going to be another great game up there. I got Hickory winning at home. I don't have Statesville winning though.
Hickory's favored by 21.
Yeah.
Statesville's 9-2. They're not quite the Statesville they've been. Hickory's 11-0. And even though they're defending state champs, they're not quite the Hickory they were.
Yeah.
So if there's going to be an upset tonight, if Statesville can get a couple of long plays, scoring drives going, you might see the upset.
You could very well see it. So yeah, that's the local games we have going on. Big games, big matchups. You're going out to the games tonight. Hope you enjoy yourself. Stay warm, stay bundled, and we're wrapped the games. Be sure to tune back here on the post game show. And Calvin, we are finished. If you want to take it away, keep going. I'm sorry. So, we'll keep going, Dennis.
As you were saying,
I thought they were telling me to wrap it up. All right, so the winner of Crest and Oak Grove plays the winner of Statesville and Hickory. The winner of Kings Mountain and Robinson will either play Dudley or AC Reynolds. Those two play tonight.
I would like to give you an update on Crest and Hickory next week, because potentially they could be conference foes.
They could be
with this new classification.
Right. Yeah, and there could be some games tonight. You never know how it's going to work. North Lincoln and West Henderson could be conference foes.
They could be.
Know. Shelby and Maiden could be conference.
Or North
Maiden
Lincoln, East Lincoln could be in the Crest Conference.
Yeah, and but
with South Point.
Yeah, but that Dudley AC Reynolds game, I don't think AC Reynolds has a chance because I heard they have a lot of hurt. I think the running back blew out his knee. They've lost their linebacker, who was really their leading tackler. Plus now their quarterback's playing tonight at Crest up at Oak Grove. Dudley is Dudley. They're going to be big, powerful, fast. They're going to be able to move the ball against AC Reynolds. So I think Dudley's going to play the winner of Kings Mountain and Robinson.
I could see Kings Mountain matching up with Dudley in that contest a little better.
I don't know.
Because Kings Mountain has got some size.
Yeah.
And they can play defense.
Yeah. And then we got the other 3A game, West Rowan, West Charlotte plays. Then they play the winner of Smoky Mountain and Irwin next week. All right, so, those are our games tonight, Dennis. We'd like to thank everybody for listening. Be sure, again, tune into the post-game show after the game's over here on KTC Broadcasting in the Witherspoon.
The Pete's Fish Box food truck is ready to roll. That's right. Pete's Fish Box now is a food truck and will come to your special event. Just give them a call at 704-802-4015. That's 704-802-4015. Give Pete's Fish Box a try. You're going to love it. My favorite is the salt and pepper catfish. Also perch, flounder, chicken tenders, and Friday is Frog Leg Friday. Walk up or drive through Pete's Fish Box, 116 West 1st Street in Cherryville. Open 3 to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. That's Pete's Fish Box in Cherryville.
Before you buy insurance, call and compare at Witherspoon Insurance in Shelby, featuring names like Progressive, National General, and State Auto. They do it all. Auto, home, life, health, commercial, motorcycle, RVs, golf carts, and indemnity bonds with low down payments. Call 704-480-9595 or drop by their office at 125